Think about your last 10 minutes of free time. Did you actually choose how to spend them, or did they just completely vanish? Today, we're diving straight into the 10-minute shift. We're going to look at exactly how we spend our smallest pockets of time and what that's literally doing to our brains.
So, what actually happens if you swap just 10 minutes of scrolling with 10 minutes of reading? I know, 10 minutes sounds super insignificant, right? But believe it or not, that tiny little window is exactly where the habit of reading is either lost forever or brought entirely back to life.
You hear it all the time. I just don't have time to read anymore. But honestly, the problem isn't just time. That's a bit of a myth. We absolutely still have free time scattered throughout our days. The real problem is what replaced reading. Think about those tiny micro moments, waiting in line, a short commute, that little gap right before bed. These used to be the exact moments we'd crack open a book. But now, they are totally absorbed by a single, automatic reflex. The numbers capture this shift perfectly, and they are kind of wild. Recent data shows young people, aged 7 to 19, are spending an average of just 18 minutes a day reading for leisure. Just 18 minutes. Meanwhile, those exact same young people, they're spending 3 hours and 1 minute a day on screens. When you put them side by side, the gap in those tiny daily pockets of time is just massive. And as they get older, that gap only widens. For 16 to 19-year-olds, daily screen time skyrockets to over 5 hours a day. So those little micro moments, they're compounding into a huge chunk of our actual lives. But here's the kicker. Even when we do try to sit down with a book, our attention is completely fractured. 67% of 16 to 19-year-olds actually report doing something else while they read. The distraction has totally seeped into the activity itself. Only about a third are giving the text their sole focus. Because here's the thing, scrolling and reading do not train the same rhythm of attention. Scrolling is essentially a reflex. It's fueled by your phone, notifications, short videos. It literally rewards immediate distraction. Reading, though, means a physical book, turning pages, and finding some calm. It requires a conscious re-entry into focus, which trains and rewards continuity. Now look, we are absolutely not here to be anti-tech. Screens are incredible tools, for sure, but the psychological reality we're dealing with is that scrolling captures the minutes completely effortlessly. It is quite literally designed to fill our gaps with zero friction. Reading, on the other hand, needs a little space to begin. It's not that we lack motivation or intelligence, it's just about friction. To read, you desperately need an entry point, a simple way to pick up the thread of whatever idea or story you left behind. And that is exactly why this 10-minute shift is so incredibly powerful. Sure, it's not going to change your life overnight, but just look at the mechanics. You reopen a book, you pick up the thread, you train continuity. You're carving out a real, tangible place for focus back in your daily routine. Because sometimes reading doesn't return to us through some massive surge of motivation. It happens simply through a consistent point of entry. That is the whole idea behind Lux Day. One page, a few minutes, every single day. It's just a really elegant, discreet way to bring reading back into real life, effortlessly replacing that scrolling reflex with a real moment of calm. The data is clear, and the mechanics of our attention are pretty undeniable at this point. So here is the ultimate challenge for your own habits moving forward. What is going to capture your next 10 minutes? The effortless distraction of the scroll or the rewarding continuity of the page? The choice is entirely yours.